Luxury for less. That is my theme for the all-new 8th generation Lexus ES. Because if you compare this Lexus luxury sedan to its German rivals, it is thousands of dollars less expensive. In the case of the Mercedes, well over $10,000 less expensive. And in today's video, we're talking about the new 8th Gen ES. We're going to go over the exterior design, the interior features, and the incredible fuel economy that Lexus has managed to eke out of its new powertrains. So let's start there. What makes a new ES special? Well, for the first time, there is a hybrid version and a full electric version, but no gasoline version of the ES. So they're all electrified models. Now this one is the entry-level powertrain. What we're looking at here is a 4-cylinder gasoline engine made into a hybrid system that powers, in this case, just the front wheels. It makes 244 horsepower, which is a significant bump over the previous generation's 215 horsepower. However, if you want a hybrid and all-wheel drive, it's an option. You can get another electric motor on the rear axle. It makes about 54 horsepower, and you do get the added confidence of 4-wheel grip. You do get a fuel economy hit though. That one's rated at 44 MPG. The front-wheel drive, like this one, is rated at a very impressive 46 MPG. So I think that this is going to be a very attractive powertrain for people. When gas is $4, $5 a gallon, every bit helps at the pump, and 46 MPG combined is very, very impressive. Plus you get more power. Now it's made into an eCVT, so it's not a belt and cone. It's a planetary gear set, which is a much more durable way to power a continuously variable transmission. And ultimately, if you want to pay no money at the pump, you can get the full electric as well, which we'll have a review of over at TFL EV. Let's talk about the exterior design. The Lexus team told me that one thing they're trying to do with the ES is bring down the average age of the ES buyer. They're targeting about 55 years old for the hybrid version. And I think that one way they're doing that is with much more interesting styling cues. So where ESs of the past have been very traditional 3-box sedans, the new one has incorporated a lot of angles and textures that we haven't seen out of this car. For example, look at this hood. In this hood alone, we have a flat diving portion down the center, but this quarter panel is unbelievable with these angles and lines that really make it much more interesting to look at than a typical sedan. And the front end has retained its traditional Lexus spindle architecture, but they haven't incorporated this massive grille that we've seen through so many of the European competitors. I think it's very elegant, and then we've got this shiny black finish too to kind of break up the silver in the front end. I do worry about the durability of this long term, but it does look a lot more interesting than if it had just been a huge slab of body color. As we come along to the side of this car, one thing you'll notice, 19-inch wheels. Now, if you want bigger than 19, you're out of luck with the hybrid. You can get up to 21s on the full electric, but the hybrid's got 19s and an almost comically small Lexus logo in the middle. Look how absolutely tiny that Lexus logo is. But this is all done in the name of fuel economy. The Lexus team told me they didn't want to put a huge wheel in it and then sacrifice that savings at the pump, so they went with a relatively small wheel to give you that good fuel efficiency and a relatively tall tire for ride quality, which is a sacrifice I would take every day of the week. Down the side here, we've got this blade that creates this line that shoots toward the back of the car, and then these pocket-style door handles. One area I'm not a fan of, the electric door handle. I much prefer a grab, but it does smooth out the side once again for aerodynamics. And I do really appreciate that you have the lock buttons front and back, so you can unlock the car from the front or rear doors. And then the rear profile is much more sporty than we've seen from Lexus in the past. It almost looks like it should be a hatch or a camback, but it is a conventional trunk. So opening up that trunk does have a power lift gate in this car. We are going to find 13 cubic feet worth of space. Now, one thing you're going to notice is there is a ski pass-through back there for longer items, but one major issue, there is no way to fold down the rear seats. So you can put your skis through it, but if you're looking to carry larger items, you are fairly compromised as to how you can do that in the ES. Underneath the cargo floor, we are going to find a small tray, but there is no integrated spare tire. just this little plastic tray, and that's where today's sponsor comes in, Modern Spare. If you're looking at a new car like an ES or a used car like an ES, and you want the peace of mind that comes with having a spare tire, even if your car doesn't have one from the factory, Modern Spare assembles and manufactures spare tire kits. Everything you need. The jack, the bag, the tire, the wheel, high quality wheel to get you back on the road if you get a flat tire. Check out the link below and rest easy knowing if you get a flat, Modern Spare has you covered. Back to the ES, couple of interesting design elements back here. This is a new Lexus signature, the L for the turn signals. So this is something that we haven't seen on previous Lexuses, but it is an interesting design element. The illuminated Lexus logo back here is a first for the brand. And then we get ES350 badging, H, because of course it's a hybrid, along the rear. If this was a full electric instead of the H, it would say E. So that's one way to tell the hybrid from the electric version. And of course, no exposed exhaust ports back here. But overall, I think the car is quite handsome. You know, they've done a really nice job of making it more interesting to look at than previous generations. And especially compared to the ones of 15 or 20 years ago, this is a car I think that will attract a younger buyer. Now, Zach, let's hop into the inside and talk about what makes this special. First of all, credit to the Lexus team for using an interesting, different color than just your silver, your black or your standard tans. This is a Palomino interior, which is a color that I personally associate with a lot of Mercedes from the 70s and 80s, but it's a color that I think really brings out the best of these leather seats. Feel very, very high quality, perforated throughout, stitching throughout. Listen, one thing that you can never fault Lexus for is their quality of materials and their fit and finish, and I think that's certainly the case in the new ES. For example, look at the door panel. Look at the way that the textures interact with each other to create a more dynamic looking panel that they could have just painted black and called it a day. I think that overall this car has done a lot to make you feel like you're buying something that's been really well thought out, and that is a great thing. Now, power button is located here to the right of the steering wheel. Push that button and everything comes into life. Of course, no engine because this is a hybrid. So instrument cluster isn't your typical square. Instead, we've got these edges that diagonally meet the top portion, and then a fun little mountain motif in the back. And this will tell you everything you need to know. You've got your fuel economy here on the left, 27.5 because we've driven it exactly a quarter of a mile. So the 40s is going to be more realistic. Your speed in the middle here, and then your driver assistance to the right. This does use the Lexus Safety Systems 4.0, which is their latest and greatest in driver assistance. So for lane centering, for adaptive cruise, for all your safety gear, that's all going to show there on the right. And then this screen, 14 inches. So it is running the latest version of the Lexus infotainment, which I find pretty easy to use. I like that they've got the shortcuts here on the left side for your music, for your navigation, for your phone connectivity. And then on the bottom, this panel is always there. This is going to be where you're going to see your climate settings, so your temperature, your heated seats. You see that little guy right there? That's an interesting element. Next to the heated seat, this actually has a knee warmer integrated into the bottom of the steering column to warm up your legs in those cold winter days. That's kind of interesting. And then we've got our control here for our fan speed, along with our recirc, and then of course your heated and ventilated seats. That feature also, your little knee warmer, is on the passenger side located here down by the glove box, but compared to previous versions of the system, the glove box is openable, which I think is quite good. So moving down the center console here, an almost faux carbon fiber look, matched with a flat black finish, which is much preferable to piano black, I think, for long-term durability. You can hide the cup holders away, and then this is your new toggle for your shifter. Park, reverse, neutral, drive, all done through the small toggle, and then a button to put it into park. Here's your parking brake. There is an EV mode on this hybrid. You can get maybe a mile or two on full electric, but that's just for navigating in and out of parking lots, really. And then a split folding center console that can open left and right. I love the fact that we still have physical controls for the air vents, physical volume knob, and this is cool too. These look like they should be haptic buttons, which I'm not a fan of, but they actually click. I don't know if you can hear that, but there is an actual button behind that finish which you can use to turn on the defrost and adjust the temperature. So if you're a fan of physical buttons, there's not a lot in here, but there are a couple, just enough. Here in the steering wheel, really nicely wrap steering wheel. The Lexus logo is now spelled out with the word Lexus here. We got these pads to control various functions throughout the vehicle, volume and track advance here on the left side of the steering wheel, cruise control, driver assistance on the right side of the steering wheel, and then Zach, I can take the camera really quick because I want to show this. On the far left of the wheel, we do have our memory seat controls, mirror controls with our window settings here. All that's well done. We've got our trunk popper and our fuel release all the way down there by my left knee. And then let's do a sunroof check. All right, so it's not a full pano, but it does go back beyond the driver's head. And then compared to other full panos, this is quite nice. It does open. So this is something that not every vehicle in this class offers, but Lexus does. Now let's talk about that pricing, because there are some interesting things going on here. And I mentioned at the beginning, it is very attractive. This car, as equipped, $53,000. Granted, still a lot of money, but when you consider the average new car price in the US is now 50 grand. And this is a premium brand with a full Palomino interior, big screen, 46 MPG, and more power than the old one. I think that 53,190 as equipped is pretty attractive. And what's interesting is that this car is pretty much a base model. It's got the convenience package, it's got the cold weather package, and premium paint. But it starts at 51,000 and just a little bit of change. So I think overall, there really is some real value to the new Lexus ES. Speaking of value, let's go ahead and check out the rear seat. This is my driving position at 6 feet tall. Make sure the comfort axis doesn't squish me too much. Yep, that's about right. So, hopping into the back here. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the legroom. Absolutely absurd. There is an insane amount of legroom. Look how far stretched out I am here. I mean, not even close to being cozy back here. I've got tons of space, good shoulder room here. Armrest does fold down. Looks like we got a tray here, and then cup holders that do fold out. Now, if you do want the ultimate in luxury, the EV version of this car has an executive package with an ottoman that folds out and all sorts of crazy features. The hybrid doesn't get that, but you do get a lot of space back here, and then your pass-through there that we mentioned earlier on. Even the headroom, I'm surprised with how adequate it is. At 6 feet tall, I'm right on the edge of hitting. If I was 6'1", 6'2", I think this would be a problem, but for me it works out just well enough. But as a whole, I think that this is one of the highlights of this car is the rear seat space. Now, of course, the best-selling Lexus used to be the ES, and then when the RX came out, it largely trounced this car for sales, but really good car. I think that they've done a lot to make this car more attractive to younger buyers, and I think the value compared to the E-Class and the 5 Series is definitely there. But I'd love to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are you going to be shopping for an ES when it goes on sale later this summer for the whole hybrid, or now for the full electric, and once again, full review over at Alt TFL for the full BEV? Guys, head on over to alttfl.com. We got more videos for you coming soon. Big thank you to Zach behind the camera. We'll see you in the next one.